Giant stone heads, a mysterious writing system, and artistic achievements that defy explanation are just a few of the enigmas that keep archaeologists up at night. They are still piecing together the puzzle of the Olmecs. Who were they? Where did they come from? In this video, we will be revealing 8 mind-blowing Olmec secrets that will change the way you see the ancient world. So stay tuned to find out some shocking ones, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel first. Number 8. The Origins. There are 2 main theories floating around. One camp believes the Olmecs migrated from South America, bringing their culture and skills with them. Maybe they hopped on a prehistoric Uber, think giant logs propelled by the current, or followed a particularly tasty trail of berries all the way north. The other camp argues the Olmecs were homegrown Mesoamerican talent. They believe the Olmec civilization sprouted up in the jungles, evolving from earlier cultures that haven't left behind much archaeological evidence. The problem is that the archaeological record is a bit like a blurry family photo album. We can see the Olmecs in all their glory, but the pictures of their ancestors are a little fuzzy. Number 7. Olmec writing system. These old people devised a complicated set of glyphs written on stone monuments and hidden in artifacts. However, archaeologists have had a very hard time breaking this code. Just think about it. Figuring out this script could be like finding a golden chest full of information. This stone might be the Rosetta Stone for the Olmec people, showing their past, beliefs, and even how they lived their daily lives. By carving them into ritual axes, we could finally figure out what those famous colossal heads meant or what they were trying to say. What makes it hard is how complicated the system is. These signs are pictures and may include phonetic sounds and symbolic meanings, making them hard for even the best code breakers to figure out. Also, the lack of written material makes it hard to find patterns and figure out what's happening. Number 6. Stone head sculptures. The stone noggin sculptures left behind by the Olmec cats down in the Gulf Coast of Mexico back in the day are a real head scratcher, you know? We're talking about a bunch of massive stone heads carved like nobody's business, dating from around 1200 BCE to 400 BCE. Now, what makes these so intriguing? Well, let me break it down for you. First, these heads are hefty, carved out of a single chunk of basalt, some weighing in at a hefty 8 tons. They didn't just plop them down anywhere either. They dragged these mammoths over 100 kilometers, probably lugging them on big old rafts down the river, or rolling them on logs like they were in some ancient stone-moving Olympics. Now, what's the deal with just carving out the head? It's odd, right? But in Mesoamerican culture, they figured all the good stuff, emotions, experience, and soul, was crammed up in the noggin. So maybe that's why they went all out on just the head sculptures. And let me tell you, these sculptors got down and dirty with hard stones, chiseling out facial features that could rival any selfie in terms of detail. We're talking eyes that pop, mouths you could practically chat with, and nostrils so real you swear you could smell the stone. Some even got fancy with dimples on the cheeks, chin, and lips, giving these heads some severe personality. Each head is like a fingerprint, unique as can be. Some experts even say they're actual portraits of rulers from back in the day. Take Colossal Head 5, for instance. Scholar M.E. Miller thinks it might be the spitting image of a ruler from San Lorenzo. And while some people have been spinning tales about these sculptures having ties to Africa, turns out the features they're rocking are still kicking it in modern-day Mexico. Number 5. Olmecs used to trade like crazy. While the Olmecs might not have jotted down their shopping lists or penned their thoughts on ancient post-its, we still have a treasure trove of clues about their economic mojo. Olmec artifacts popped up all over Mesoamerica like souvenirs from a well-traveled explorer. Yes, that's right, these cats were wheeling and dealing on a grand scale. Now, how do we know they weren't just keeping it local? Well, take a gander at the goods they were flaunting. We're talking jade straight out of Oaxaca and Guatemala, obsidian from the highlands up north, stuff that didn't grow on trees down in the Gulf Coast. They were bringing in the bling from far and wide. Number 4. Olmec's religious beliefs. Seems like the Olmecs were big fans of Mother Nature, especially places where the sky, earth, and the underworld all rub shoulders. Caves leading down into the depths of mountains with springs and caves were like cosmic crossroads for the Olmecs. They had their eyes on spots like El Manati, Chalcatzingo, and Huacotitlan, where the natural world met the supernatural. And when it comes to their gods, well, they were a bit shy with their names. Instead, they were all about representing natural phenomena like rain, earth, and most importantly, maize. So instead of fancy names, we've got gods with numbers like God 6, keeping it simple and straightforward. Now, let's talk deities. The Olmecs had quite the lineup, 8 of them to be exact. These divine beings were a mix of both male and female traits. Each deity had its own gig, representing everything from corn to rain to sea creatures. And you best believe some serious rituals were going down to keep these cosmic big shots happy. Elite rulers, shamans, and maybe even a squad of priests all gathered at sacred spots like La Venta and San Lorenzo to lay down offerings and shoot the breeze with the big wigs upstairs. Number 3. Olmecs were obsessed with jade. Some people think the Olmecs saw more magic in jade than we do. It could have been a sign of something important, like a link to the afterlife or a sign of power and wealth. Its cool, smooth touch had a magical meaning, like a way to send energy or good luck to other people. Another reason has to do with how rare something is. Jade wasn't just lying around like rocks on the beach back then. You had to go deep into the mountains or trade with towns very far away to get a good chunk of this emerald treasure. It may have been more valuable because it was hard to get, making it a status sign for the elite or a useful gift to the gods. Number 2. The unexcavated Olmec Sites. These buried cities hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of this ancient civilization. While we have some amazing Olmec artifacts, there's much more waiting to be discovered beneath the layers of time. Entire neighborhoods, ceremonial centers, and maybe even forgotten palaces could slumber under the jungle floor. These hidden cities burst with clues about the Olmec way of life. How did they build those colossal heads? What were their daily routines like? Did they have a complex political structure with rulers and hierarchies? These are just some of the questions these sites probably answer. Number 1. Olmec's urban centers. Let's take a peek into the hustle and bustle of Olmec life. These people knew how to make the most of their lush coastal digs along the Gulf of Mexico. Fields of corn and beans yielding not 1, but 2 harvests a year. And they weren't just sitting around waiting for crops to grow. They were out gathering palm nuts and all sorts of tasty sea critters like turtles and clams, keeping their bellies full and their pantries stocked. By around 1200 BCE, things were heating up. Urban centers started popping up like mushrooms after a rainstorm. San Lorenzo was leading the charge, with its prime location keeping it safe from floods and giving it a leg up in the local trade game. This place was booming, with obsidian, jade, pottery, and even rubber flying off the shelves. San Lorenzo wasn't just a one-trick pony, though. It was packing some serious culture, too. We're talking mound structures, possibly even a ball court for some high-stakes games. And let's not forget the Red Palace. Fancy digs with painted floors and workshops buzzing with activity. But around 900 BCE, things took a turn. San Lorenzo went up in flames, while La Venta stepped up to the plate, becoming the new kid on the block with a population of around 18,000. That's all for today's video. We hope you found something informative about it. Let's give it a wrap, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. See ya!